This is difficult. I'd rather be doing ironing. I'm a mountain climber and a domestic worker. I'm not a speaker. When I climb mountains, I have a support team. Well, not really. It's my feet that walk. Standing here today is a different mountain for me to climb, and I ask you to join me and support me. Let me now take you to my recent mountain, to Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain in Africa. Kilimanjaro is 5,895 meters above sea level. To put in perspective, it's like climbing ICC, the tallest building in Hong Kong, 12 times, plus another 300 meters. Will one encounter numerous steps while climbing ICC? In Kilimanjaro, the terrain is vastly different as well as difficult. It was day 7, our summit day. We were at high camp at 4,644 meters. We got up at midnight for a summit bid. Despite being geared up, I could still feel the cold on my toes, and I felt numbness on my fingertips. My breathing became heavy at every step. It was pitch black and nothing to see aside from the contour of the giant mountain towering above us, and I look up to a trail of headlamps zigzagging on the slope of the mountain, blending in with the stars in the sky. At each step, I could hear my boots crunching through rocks and scree, the tick-tack sound of my trekking pole hitting the ground. I have no recollection of how many hours had passed, and when we reached a milestone of sorts, I thought we were almost there, only to see the headlamps from other climbers who were ahead of me. My heart sank. I felt a wave of nausea, and my legs were getting very tired. My guide told me, "Don't look up, don't look back. Focus on your footstep, one foot after the other. Think of a happy place." Beer made me smile. In my time of struggles, the only person I could talk to and make me happy is myself. My self-talk veered me from the discomfort of what I am going through at that moment, telling myself, this is what I want. No matter how difficult, I won't give up because I can feel the summit. It's almost there. Then I heard someone said, Stella Point. It's the crater rim. It means 6 hours of uphill struggle has come to an end. 1 hour to go to reach the summit. The last few meters took me 45 minutes, but it seems like eternity. My legs buckled and I felt like falling backwards. In my head, I wanted to run that final stretch, yet my legs were walking in slow motion. Drawing the last ounce of strength I had and told my legs to keep going. Then I saw the signpost. Touch it to make sure I'm not hallucinating. And yes, it was real wood. Finally, I made it to the summit of Kilimanjaro. I reached my goal. I sobbed shamelessly and hugged my guide, tears welling in my eyes from both happiness and exhaustion. For a few minutes, I forgot what I had been through. I had to savor my moment of elation, a realization of a long dream. Standing at the summit of Kilimanjaro made me reflect for a moment. Looking back, made me realize how far I have come from my roots in the Philippines. I was born in Davao City in the southern Philippines. My family was very poor. My working as day laborers, my parents' constant battle was to focus on how we survive each day. We don't have money to buy clothes. There were days I went to sleep hungry. We don't have a permanent home, as my parents move us around from one town to another to find work. But the environment was the same. Poverty followed us like a shadow wherever we went. Even sending me to school was impossible. I was forced to drop out of school at the age of 13. I was heartbroken, for I had big dreams. I wanted to travel and see the world someday. And in my young mind, education was a tool to achieve those dreams. I felt hopeless, disappointed, and full of self-pity. The only thing that comforted me was that tiny old globe I picked up one day, strewn over the side of a garbage bin. It became my prized possession. I would spend my time looking and turning it round and round to see all the countries and continents of the world. My favorite continent was Africa. I found that place exotic, dark, and mysterious. I told myself I will go there someday. Then the reality hit me, and I tucked that dream away at the back of my heart. As a means to ease the family's burden, I was married off and became a mother of twin boys at the age of 21. I felt helpless to my situation, and part of me became resigned to the role of being married to an irresponsible man. I had to find ways to work as a laundry woman to support my family's daily needs. The sight of my hands getting rashes and infected from the detergent's harsh chemicals made me cringe in pain and disgust. Disgust for everything that I am going through. Disgust for a woman's role in a patriarchal society. My childhood is repeating in my children. It felt like I'm stuck in a quicksand, being pulled slowly to death by powerful forces of hopelessness. One day, a friend told me there's a job offer to work in Hong Kong as a domestic helper. I didn't hesitate a moment to accept it. I was desperate to get away, to escape. The only hard thing to do was the thought of leaving my children. But I knew leaving them meant I could provide a better future for all of us. I arrived in Hong Kong in November 1996. While I found my feet in this very new world, my life at home was falling apart, and I eventually separated from my husband. I made everyone unhappy with my decision, and I must admit, this part of my life felt like a failure. But I never let life's experiences, failure, and disappointment kill my spirit. Instead, I used them to fuel my desire in giving myself permission to live life on my own terms the way I want. Being a domestic worker in Hong Kong, I get a day off a week. And I used to spend the day sitting and hanging out with my friends at the square or along the walkways in Central. I felt uncomfortable and embarrassed when passers-by stared and sometimes people took photos of us. I felt degraded. So I told myself to go and find something else worthwhile to do. My belief and the strong desire to live life on my own terms became the motivation to change my routine. So on one Sunday in the summer of 2006, I went to the library to read books. While browsing the shelves, I stumbled into a book about great hikes in Hong Kong. My next day off, I set out to follow one of the hikes, the Wong Nai Chung Gap. The trail leads up to a hill overlooking the city, and from that vantage point, I paused for a moment to enjoy the spectacular view. Hong Kong is so beautiful when viewed from above. And aside from the scenery, I also love the mountain breeze and how it touched my cheeks. I found it peaceful and relaxing to stand on top of a mountain. I was in my element. That day, the mountain climber in me was born. From then on, hiking became my favorite hobby. I hiked alone for a few months until I met the Hong Kong Trampers, an informal group who explored the countryside on weekends. People were friendly and I felt comfortable, so I joined the hikes every Sunday. After 3 months, the elders suggested I become a hike leader. I felt happy and honored to be given a chance to lead. I got promoted! Yay! Those Sundays that I led hikes became my special place. I felt empowered. One day, as a hike leader, my sense of empowerment was challenged. A Western woman was very surprised to know that the hike leader is a Filipino domestic worker. She said, "A domestic worker can lead hikes? How?" Feeling a bit insulted, I looked her in the eyes and told her that it was my day off, and I can do what I want, and yes, I too can lead hikes. Despite feeling insulted, I put on a brave face and stayed where I should be, at the front. Everyone followed me, and we've managed to finish a great hike, a successful hike. And at the end, she said, "Thank you for leading a hike." And she bought me beer. I have this belief that no one should let their situation or their job define them. No one should let others define their value. I don't, and I won't. Nor should any of you sitting here today and watching today. Through hiking and mountain climbing, I discovered that I am making small steps in taking over the driver's seat of my life. By supporting my decision to change course and not letting life's challenges hold me back, I have been able to reshape my life the way I want it to be. I also inspire other fellow domestic workers to hike, volunteer in community events, and join a monthly cleanup trail campaigns, and participate in dragon boat racing. Seeing my own transformation unfold before my eyes has given me an undeniable satisfaction and a great sense of freedom. And to see that my action have a positive impact on others to follow the same has added even more meaning to my life's journey. When I chose to start hiking in 2006, it was my first step to see the world on my terms. Now that I am in my 40s, I have reached my dream of going to Africa. I also achieved things I never imagined. My past 10 years have transformed my life because I choose to do something differently than what I was thought possible for someone like me. By the time I am 50, could I go back to school and help others reach their dreams? Why not? Now that I am fully aware that I can live my life on my own terms, not letting or defined by my job, my gender, nationality, role as a woman in the society, my wins or challenges, or others' opinions. My dreams dance with me. I am eternally stoked to continue building and crossing more bridges and continue to discover who I am every day of my life. I choose to live fully, not just survive. Today, I am inviting each one of you to do something meaningful. Give yourself permission to live on your own terms. If you dared to do this, what would you want to achieve? We all have our own mountains to climb in this lifetime. I am climbing mine. Will you climb yours? I will leave it to you to make that call. But if you do take up my invitation, I promise you, you too will find freedom as I did on your own mountain, on top of your Mount Kilimanjaro. Thank you.